Hey everybody, Midnight Riders back at you here again. Beautiful Georgia morning, about 65 degrees I'd say. Probably going to be about 85 or 90 today, so very nice weather. Same thing as always, we're kind of putting a little disclaimer out there. These videos are not meant for kids. They're meant for common sense people who actually want to talk about real issues. You know, one of the things that we don't really do a whole lot of is I don't really care too much about the political conversations, right? Everybody out there is talking about politics and this and that, and you know how Biden fucked up Afghanistan and how OAC is, you know, doing her thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit about any of that stuff. I really don't. I mean, yeah, it affects me. But I prefer to talk more about some of the real issues and some of the things that are actually going wrong with this country. And so today I really kind of want to talk a little bit about, and we kind of touched a little bit on it on our last episode, but today I want to talk about unionized labor and how this is completely destroying our country. So this kind of started by, I've got a friend who's a cop, and he's got all the Trump stickers on the back of his truck. You know, he's hardcore Republican this, and you know, always claiming to be so conservative. Well, the other day he decided to go on this little spiel about how his union is so awesome and so important and all this kind of stuff. And I said to him, I said, dude, man, you do realize that you cannot be conservative and pro-union at the same time.
Yeah.
And this dude lost his shit, man. I mean, you know, oh, you're not a real, you know, you must have voted for Biden and all this. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. You know, shut up. Seriously. And so I really want to talk a little bit about this, and I kind of want to start the conversation about how unionized labor in this country has destroyed the working class people. And it bothers me when conservatives, especially these conservative, you know, so-called conservative politicians, when they get out there and start talking about, you know, labor unions and all this kind of stuff. So before we get into any of this, let's talk about the kind of the history of unionized labor in this country. So everybody always says that the Democrats are the working man's party, right? Well, the Democrats are the labor party, right? They're the ones that really brought labor unions into the country and began implementing them. But most people don't understand that the original labor union in this country was the Teamsters, right? Yeah. The Teamsters. It is a fascist idea. It is a socialist idea, right? Yeah. Collective bargaining. And anytime that you tell a private company what they can and can't do, then that's no longer a private company, right? Whether it's a government control issue or whether it's a labor control issue, it's the same monster. Yeah. And most people don't realize this, but it was literally brought to America by the Italian mafia. Yeah. Right? It was a fascist thing where they basically said, look, man, you're going to pay Joey, you know, this amount, or we're going to come and break your legs, right? Yeah. So instead of physically breaking these companies' legs nowadays, now they're just financially breaking their legs, right?
Putting them where they can't work.
Well, right. I mean, they're putting them out of business. You know, they're threatening them. They're doing all kinds of things. And man, I've got plenty of stories about threats and all that kind of stuff. But really, to this day, right? The oldest union in America is the Teamsters. Yeah. And to this day, the union president is no other than Jimmy Hoffa Jr. Right? Put two and two together, man. Put two and two together. And this is what
odd, how that works out.
Well, but that's the thing is most people don't understand this, right? They don't know the facts, right? So the other day when I'm talking to this cop buddy of mine, and you know, he starts going ballistic about how, you know, the union is the best thing for the working man and this and that. And if I was a real conservative, I'd be pro-union. And I'm like, dude, you've lost your fucking mind, man. You obviously need to go back to 3rd grade and learn some simple facts about history, right? And unionized labor is the absolute most destructive thing that has happened to the working class people in this country. Yep.
Well, it's taking good workers that could provide for their families on their own and make them settle for less.
Well, not only that, but it's making them dependent.
Yeah,
right. It's making them
dependent
dependent on the government or on their unionized job.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, man. I mean, I'll get back into this. Everybody, I get all these Facebook comments about, every time I make comments about cops or military or any of this kind of stuff, and people, oh man, you must be anti-police or anti-military. It's like, look, man, I've been in both of those professions.
Yeah.
Right. I spent 10 years of my life in the Army, and then I spent several years in law enforcement after that.
Yeah.
Before I finally got my head out of my ass and said, man, I can make it on my own.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I used to be one of those government employees.
Yeah.
Right. I used to be one of those guys that was very reliant on that, that biweekly paycheck that Uncle Sam was giving me.
Yeah.
And it took me many years to kind of discover that, man, real men don't need to be dependent like that. Real men are self-reliant.
Yeah.
Right. Real men don't mean. But here's the bottom line. I get into these arguments all the time. I am the most pro-military, most pro-law enforcement guy out there.
Yeah.
But what I am also is I'm also a small government guy.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the thing. This whole debate would be different if people were in these jobs because they really cared about the profession.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say this again and again. Cops aren't cops because they want to serve and protect.
Yeah. They want the name of being a badass is what it is.
Well, that, and they also want the benefits. They want the retirement. They want the, they want the job security. It's not a very high-paying job, unless you live in Plano, Texas, or someplace like that. Where they're
Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying being in law enforcement is not a high-paying job.
Yeah.
But it's a secure job. It's a job where you're going to get paid no matter what happens. If you get hurt, you're going to get paid for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right? All you got to do is show up to work and do your thing. 3 days on, 4 days off, whatever their schedule is.
Yeah.
And you're going to get paid. And so these people that are in these jobs, law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, right?
Yeah.
Teachers,
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was a kid, man, teachers were always complaining because they didn't get paid very much, right? This is before the teachers unions came in and jacked their salaries up to $80,000 or $90,000 a year, right? But back in the day, if you were a teacher, it was because you truly wanted to teach.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I mean, look, nowadays they're all county employees, right?
Yep.
All of them. There's no such,
Yep.
unless you're at a charter school or something.
Yep.
But it's all government employees now, so they get all the benefits, they get all the retirement. And we see what's going on in academia and in our public school system. Teachers aren't there because they want to teach. They're there because they want a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. I'm sure there's plenty of them that still love their job and they care about what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're not there because they care. They're there for a paycheck.
Yep.
They're there for a retirement plan. They're there for paid holidays, health insurance, that
Yep.
whole kind of thing. Right, all the typical government incentives that come along with those types of jobs.
I've always truly said if you wanted to see if someone really wanted to be there, just take away their paycheck and see how long they stay.
Well, that's it. I have the same discussion with a lot of my Army buddies. And a lot of these guys are just starting to retire. A lot of the people that my best friends. I mean,
Yep.
they've spent 24, 25 years in the Army now. A lot of them are starting to retire, and I have this exact conversation with them. I ask the question all the time. I say, would you have been willing to serve that amount of time for free? And of course, oh no, hell no.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, the time that I spent in the Army, I would have done my first 3 years for free.
Yeah.
I would have done it 100% for free.
Yeah.
We actually used to have this expression in the Army when I was a young soldier. It's kind of funny because, man, this pisses people off. But the expression was, to initially enlist is brave.
Yeah.
To re-enlist is patriotic. To re-enlist again is settling, and to become a lifer is lazy and afraid.
Yeah.
Now think about that a little bit. That means to do your first enlistment, that's a brave thing to do, man.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, everybody goes in for different reasons.
Yeah.
But that's a brave thing to do, right? To serve your country and to sign your name on that dotted line, it's a brave thing to do.
Yeah.
To do it, to re-enlist again. That means that you actually, you're kind of into the whole gig. Most people who re-enlist for their second term, they don't really know what's going on. They just kind of want more experience and to kind of see where the career takes them and stuff. But at the end of the day, the human body's not designed to do 20 plus years in the military.
Yeah.
Right. The human body's not designed for that.
Yeah.
And I always used to joke that we're the only capitalist country in the world that has a socialist military.
Yeah.
And the reason is because most other countries work on a draft type system, like how we used to.
Yeah.
Right. And when a war happened, the selective service came in and they drafted the amount of people that they needed. When the war was done, those people went home and started businesses, and life was fine. We didn't have this big, huge active duty military, where you've got 2.5 million people on a full-time salary sitting around bases doing nothing for 20 plus years of their career.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everybody says, oh, well, those guys deploy, right? We've just had a 21-year war or a 20-year war. Well, here's the thing, man. Only about 30% of the military actually deploys.
Yeah.
Normally, it's the same people who continuously deploy time and time again, while everybody else is sitting at TRADOC bases and doing, sitting at the Pentagon and twiddling their thumbs doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's actually a very small percentage of military personnel who physically deploy, and that's really, that's your job when you're in the military, is to fight wars.
Yeah.
Your job is not to sit at some base somewhere. I've always asked the question, why the hell do we even need a border patrol when we've got 2.5 million active duty service personnel that could, that could be down on the border, pulling border patrol for us.
Yeah.
Right.
It all gets back to unionized labor.
Well, and that's it right there. It's all part of a government plan to expand the government, right? And I'll throw law enforcement and teachers in with this too. Firefighters.
Yep.
Back in the day, I was a volunteer firefighter when I was 16.
I was too.
Right.
Yep.
In our entire county, we didn't have full-time paid firefighters.
No.
When a fire broke out, people ran down to the little fire station.
I think we had one in the middle of town that was, I think, 24 on and 24, or 48 on and 48 off.
Yeah.
And then they had the volunteers in that 48-hour time span, But
well,
like
I mean, with us,
it's never been a full-time gig.
Yeah, but I mean, with us, the way our county worked is that we had a county sheriff, and he was kind of also the fire marshal.
Yeah.
And he was really about the only full-time law enforcement or type of guy. I mean, hell, he was also the city code inspector.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this, but code inspectors are actually part of law enforcement, right?
Yep.
Code enforcement has arresting authority.
Yeah.
If you're messing up on a building project or something like that, and they've got a problem, they can arrest you.
Yeah.
Well, they can't arrest you; they can detain you.
Yeah.
Right. But that's a completely different topic for a different day. But the point is that we have all these law enforcement personnel. It's not about protecting and serving.
Yeah.
Okay, if they were truly protecting and serving, then more people would be doing it on a volunteer basis.
Oh yeah.
And
well, like back in the old days, if you took the job as sheriff, you didn't get paid hardly anything, but you done it because you wanted to.
Well,
you wanted to better the community.
That's kind of the whole reasoning behind having sheriffs as elected officials, right? If you don't like the job that they're doing, you're supposed to be able to elect somebody else and replace them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, sheriffs can be impeached just like anybody else. It takes the governor to do it, but a sheriff can be impeached.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reasoning behind that, is because the sheriff is supposed to work for the community,
Yep.
not the other way around. And that's the next problem that I have with all of these government jobs, is that these people have gotten this mentality that we work for them now, right?
Yeah.
We have to listen to them. We have to respect them.
Yeah.
They seem to forget that we're the ones that pay their damn paycheck.
Oh yeah.
And I get this a lot too, where
I like it when people say it's government funded. No, it's taxpayer funded.
well, here's the thing: most people don't understand this. Here again, going back to this cop that I was talking to the other day, and this guy's a good friend, man. I mean, I've known this dude for a long time, but I mentioned this to him. I told him, I said, dude, man, the reason so many people out there hate cops now is because law enforcement has gotten this. First of all, they all think that there's some kind of paramilitary.
Yeah.
Right? And that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Police forces are not designed to be paramilitaries.
Yeah.
They are designed to do certain functions, right? A sheriff's department is not supposed to be out there, with cars on the side of the road waiting for people to speed.
Yeah.
That's not a sheriff's function, right? A sheriff's function is to serve warrants and, capture felons.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's a sheriff's function. Their function is not to be out there doing public safety.
Yeah.
But public safety has become this ruse where they do it to expand their departments, right?
Yeah.
I mean, crime is industry, right?
Yep. We were just talking about that the other day too.
Well, and that's absolute, but this goes back into the unionized labor.
Yep.
They want more control, they want more power, they want more money, So they create these laws and they create these things to keep their law enforcement gainfully employed. And what it's doing is it's expanding. I'll tell you this, dude. The mark of a good community is less law enforcement.
Oh yeah.
Not more law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right? If a community is truly civilized and if a community is truly good,
Yeah.
they shouldn't need more law enforcement. They should need less law enforcement.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I'll give the example of Kennesaw, Georgia.
Yep.
Right? It's rated as one of the safest towns in America because they have a city ordinance that requires every homeowner to have a gun, to own a gun.
Yeah.
Right? Their
Sounds
crime
like
rate.
a good law to me.
Well, right. Now it's kind of funny because when you go right across the street to Marietta, Georgia, right, Cobb County, all of a sudden you've got this explosion of crime.
Yeah.
And you've got a huge police department and a huge Cobb County Sheriff's Department and a huge, I mean, hell, I saw it the other day where they have Cobb County Police.
Yeah.
So it's not just Cobb County Sheriff's Department now it's Cobb County Police.
Yeah.
So they
They're
got
intertwined
right.
now
So
or something.
so they got the sheriff's department, they got the county police department, they got the city police department,
Yep.
and then you still have your,
Well, Clayton County's got the same deal now.
I mean,
They've got Clayton County Police now.
I mean, this is absolutely insane, man. They keep expanding. Did you know that America, and this is just one of those facts that I throw out there. America, per capita, America has more law enforcement officers than any country in the world. When
Yep.
you combine municipal, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, we have more law enforcement officers than any country in the world.
Yeah.
And it's all because of unionized labor, right? It's all because of people, not being self-reliant and wanting these cushy government jobs. And look, man, I'm not saying that being a cop is an easy job,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But for fuck's sakes, man, these guys have got to start understanding that what they're doing is not to serve and protect.
Yeah.
What they're doing is strictly so that they have a job that gives them all the benefits that they want.
Yeah.
Health insurance,
That comfort zone.
that comfort zone, and the big one is that retirement.
Yeah.
Damn, that garbage truck is loud.
Yeah, it is that. Well, I talked to a buddy of mine. I've got a buddy of mine that went to school with me. He's a cop now. And we talked about this a little bit. The damn retirement itself.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Well, it's a pyramid scheme, right? And that's what people don't understand either. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Is if you've got people on the top that are retiring, it takes a whole bunch of people on the bottom to be paying for that.
Yep.
Right, and this is why they have to keep growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
Is because if they just kept with the status quo, then they wouldn't be able to pay for all those damn people. But this guy the other day, I told him, I told him that the bottom 50% of this country gets back more in taxes than what they even put into the system.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's, because I told him, I said, dude, man, I'm the guy paying for your salary.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that's going to be paying for your retirement. And he said, no, I pay taxes just like everybody else does. And I said, dude, man, how much do you make a year? $50,000-$60,000 a year? And I tried to explain to him that you're in the bottom 50% of this country, man. He's getting back more, especially if he owns a house or if he has kids. He's getting back more than he's even putting into the system.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's not paying for his own retirement. He may be getting what, $100 a month taken out for Social Security or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother debate too, man, is this whole Social Security thing. Because that's created, that has probably created the most dependency that this country has ever seen.
Yeah.
Social Security. But anyway, really, I just don't understand how this ruse has gone on for so long without people being able to sit down and kind of think to themselves like, damn, man, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is the pyramid can only go out so far.
Yeah.
Before
when
there's
you got one hand putting in and three taking out, it don't take long for the pot to run out.
that's it. That's it right there. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, man, I mean, I'm not anti-cop, dude. I'm not
Yep.
anti-military, dude. I spent most of my adult life in those professions.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, people have got to be smart enough to understand what it's actually about.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about these people wanting to protect and serve. It's about them having that authority position, right? Them being put up on that pedestal where they think that they're, doing society great things, and, they get their damn 10% discount at Lowe's, right? So they think that they're doing something in this world.
Yeah.
But all they're doing is taking.
Yep.
Right? That's all they're doing is taking. They're not giving back, and this is, this is the kind of bullshit that our kids are going to have to start dealing with.
Yeah, well, we're getting a third generation and really a fourth generation involved in.
Right.
You get to thinking about it, granddaddy worked all them years or whatever and put in the time and the money and everything. Well, you got him drawing, and now you've got son that's disabled or something's wrong with and drawing.
Yep.
And now you've got the third generation already pulling on that money. You've got three hands taken out and only one put in. It runs out after a while.
Well, and that's what I mean, man. Everybody wants these labor jobs or these union jobs. Everybody wants these government jobs. Nobody out there is able to understand that sooner or later the fucking money is going to run out.
Oh yeah.
Right.
If truth be told, it's probably already run out.
Oh, it's done gone. But
yeah, we're running on credit now.
Well, sure, we've been running on credit for a minute, but that's the point, though. Is yeah, he's got a pretty good setup over there. But anyway, people just aren't taking all this stuff into account.
No, they're not. They're really not.
I'll give you an example. I know this girl that is a nurse, and she's a county employee. She works for a county hospital, and she's a nurse. And the other day she was telling me about how she wants to, her goal is to save up to retire. And so obviously she's going to be getting a county pension, but in her mind she thinks she's going to be able to save enough money to live comfortably beyond that. I think her pension is going to be like 40% of her, monthly. I don't know the intricacies of it all, but
yeah.
Anyway, I told her, I said, man, you realize that in 2021, to retire at 62, you have to have $3 million saved. So I basically told her, I told her, I said, you could really, you could take your entire month's salary every year and you could invest it for the next 22 years, because that's how, she's 40 now, so it's going to be, it's going to be, yeah, take your fucking time, dude. Take a little longer, man. Jeez.
But,
anyway, so she's 40 now. She wants to retire at 62, which just happens to be the age of Social Security, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell her, I'm like, look, man, you could take your entire year's salary and invest, or literally put it into a savings account for the next 22 years, and you're still not going to have enough to retire at 62.
Yeah. To
live comfortably. That's $3 million. That's to live off of about $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. And she couldn't believe it, and I told her, I said, do the math, figure it out.
Yeah.
I said, do the damn math. And she just didn't want to believe it. She thought that, if she puts away a couple $100 plus her Social Security, plus her retirement pension that she's going to be getting, that she's going to be living large when she turns 62.
Yeah.
She's going to be living large. And I tried to.
The price of things keep going up. It's
in 22 years with inflation, man, people are going to need $4 million.
Yeah.
To retire comfortably, by that age. But that's the point, though, is that people don't understand, and this is why so many people are into these government jobs, right? They want that kind of pension. They want that security. But people don't realize that the only way to truly get that is to be self-employed and be investing constantly into things that are going to increase your revenue, right? Yeah. Most people don't get lucky enough to inherit that kind of money.
Yeah.
Most people don't win the lottery.
Yeah.
Right? And so the only way to truly do it is to actually build yourself up to where you're, generating that type of revenue.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that working for a government job. You're not going to do that working for some private company.
Yeah.
You've got to go out there and make your own company. Yeah, do it yourself. That is the only way to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to be living that large.
Yeah.
You're not going to be living on the fat horse. With that $1,200 a month pension plan. You're not going to be. And I think that this is really the biggest lie that Americans have been told. And here again, unionized labor, man, everybody's happy until they're not, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's happy until the pot runs out.
Yeah.
And then, then what the fuck are they gonna do?
Yep.
Right? So anyway, this is really what's been on my mind a lot lately. I feel so bad for a lot of people out there. They don't have the common sense to rationalize this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really destroying our country.
They don't understand the dependency that they
Well, right. And here again, I mean, I don't personally understand how anybody could ever believe that the Democrats have been the party for the working man, because they have not been. They've been the party for labor unions. Yep. They've been the party for socialism.
Yep.
Right? And socialism doesn't work, man. I mean, the only way to have a happy and successful retirement is to get your ass out there and make it yourself.
Yep.
And here again, man, this all goes back to that emasculation of the American man, and just general dependency and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'll tell you what, dude. We're going to be hitting some bad stuff. I think it'll be in about 20 years, man. We're going to be hitting some bad stuff.
Oh yeah. They've seen it bad now.
Yeah.
Give it another 20 years.
Yeah, I think
and
this
could be less than that. Could be another 10.
Yeah, I mean, I really, I know that people have been saying this, for the last 50 years. I mean, I remember in the 80s, everybody was talking about how we needed to learn Japanese, because the Japanese were going to take over the world.
Yeah.
Now it's the Chinese or the Russians or whatever, and it's just like, God damn, man. Why would people want to wait until that happens? Why not get their ass out there? Stop being so damn dependent.
Yeah.
Get their ass out there and start being self-reliant again. Stop playing this union game.
Yeah.
It's a game, man. That's all it is. It's a fucking game.
Yeah.
But to all the cops out there and all the military people and all the teachers and everyone else, man, I mean, I appreciate what y'all do. But man, you're all a bunch of dependent taxpayer leeches. Straight up. I don't have a problem with any of them. What I have a problem with is people justifying the growth of government just so that they can have a retirement pension.
I don't have a problem with folks that do it because they want to do it.
Right.
The folks that do it because they want the authority and the dependency of the government and the dependency of the union itself.
Yeah. Well, it's all crap. But here again, this is just my opinion, and people can take it for what it is. Leave your comments. I would still love to have a good, strong, healthy debate with anybody who's smart enough to debate it. And I guess we'll catch you on the next one.